Hi, everybody. I'm Ray Wang. I'm here with Mohamad Ali. He's the head of IBM Consulting. And more importantly, we're going to be talking about a very important topic called the science of consulting. So we'll start here. And of course, as everybody knows, the AI is the hottest topic that's been going on. Every client, every boardroom is trying to figure out how to use AI as the opportunity. We've seen 17 to 18% of POCs convert. And for the organizations that have succeeded in converting their POCs with AI, they've actually seen exponential gains. What we mean by exponential, in many cases, we're talking about 10x improvement, 1/10 the cost. So there's lots of opportunities out there, but it's kind of been haphazard. And part of the reason it's all been haphazard is because people have been kind of trying it out. They haven't put a defined methodology. They haven't approved some kind of science behind it. And so we're talking about quantitative and quantitative approaches that are successful. And so IBM Consulting is one of the major players in this AI space, especially when we're talking about where technology and business come together. And of course, I want to talk a little bit about the state of the consulting industry and how IBM Consulting is actually setting up for this challenge around AI. So Mohamad, welcome to the show. And more importantly, share with us a little bit what's going on in this dynamic market.
Yes, first of all, Ray, it's really good to see you again. And you're right, it's a pretty dynamic market, this consulting space. But before I sort of talk about what's changing, maybe I'll just explain what consulting is to our audience, just for a moment, right? Because it's sort of a broad word. And as we talk about this, you'll start seeing all the parts of consulting potentially transforming. So in consulting, we talk about three big areas, right? Advise, build, operate. And so an example would be a hospital chain comes to us and says, hey, we want to figure out a way to serve more patients. And well, one thing we could do is we could build a new scheduling approach that allows you to do that more efficiently, right? So we'll spend some time doing the advice, coming up with some ideas. Generative AI can help in coming up with the ideas on how to solve this problem. Then next we go and we build it. We build these apps. Again, you can see generative AI assisting us in being able to build these apps more quickly. And then we operate it. And there are also generative AI techniques to operate it much more efficiently. So Ray, as you can see right there in just that one example, the consulting business end to end is about to change dramatically. And we're pretty excited about it. We're calling it the science of consulting. It's sort of a new era of consulting.
Well, I'm going to take a step back because not everybody does all that, right? Some people do the strategy and then they just let other people go out and build it. Other people just build taking someone else's strategy. And then other people say, hey, look, it's already done. Go operate it, right? You guys are full service. And when you're full service, you have to worry about each of the other pieces because there are downstream effects if you don't do a good job in one of these areas, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, in our business, it's not just about coming up with the idea. It's about actually implementing it, and sometimes it's operating it for multiple years. So we have to live with the ideas we come up with, right? I mean, that's part of what makes it an exciting business. Like, we have to deliver.
Well, since you've taken over, you've actually rethought what consulting is about, and it's different than the traditional consulting model. So let's talk a little bit about what the science of consulting is.
Yeah. So, we are about to enter into an era, we might have already entered into it, where science and technology is coming together with skills and expertise in a way that it hasn't before, right? If you think about it, I mean, we've always had technology entering the space. There's been software, we use software, but now we're building assistants and agents, some people call them digital workers, that are working with us hand in hand at every step of our process, whether it's coming up with the idea for the scheduling approach at the hospital, to how quickly we can write code, to other things that we do on a daily basis. It's becoming an integral part of what we do, and so science is infusing itself in consulting in a way that it just hasn't before.
Yeah, and I think some of the things that you guys are doing in this is, I mean, you've seen this big shift to generative AI, right? And it's changing consulting for quite some time, right? And it's not just the labor aspect. There's a little bit more too, right? There's new business models emerging because of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so clearly, one of the first things that people realize is that it could drive just massive efficiencies in how we do our business, how our clients do their business. but it also opens up a whole new set of opportunities for customer engagement, for customer acquisition. As I gave you the example of the hospital, we were able to use generative AI techniques to help them serve more patients, right? So it's not just cost, it's also being able to expand your customer base, grow your revenue. In terms of what it means for the consulting industry, we are seeing just a change in how our clients are engaging us, right? They expect generative AI to be part of the solution. As a matter of fact, 86% of the clients that we've surveyed have said that they're really no longer going to be considering service providers who don't have a generative AI capability. And as a result, one of the things that we've done is we've built a whole platform called IBM Consulting Advantage to enable our consultants to bring generative AI to our clients in a safe and predictable and organized manner.
I've been in the services business since '96, and the old way of doing this is, we were experts. We had an opinion. We had our secret silos of knowledge, right?
Secret silos,
technology, right? And we basically, did waterfall approaches, right? Here's kind of it. Here's like a phase, right? And we basically did everything on our own and kind of excluded the clients and didn't even partner with them. What you're talking about is something really different. This is the science of consulting. It is different for what reason again?
So, you said it, right? It's no longer about having your silos of knowledge. It's really about co-creating with the clients. So, this platform that we've created allows us to capture knowledge in the form of digital workers. And now we have thousands of these digital workers that are basically encapsulated forms of knowledge that work with us. But the environment that we've created, Consulting Advantage, what we call it, has a teams concept, right? So we can actually invite our clients into the projects that we're working together, and we can collaborate with the clients, and then the clients can use our digital workers. We can use the digital workers. It's really a much tighter working relationship. It's also a much faster working relationship, right? Because for example, we have an SAP project, and in an SAP project, you have to write these documents that are called PDDs, like process design documents. Well, these things are an iterative process. You sit down with the client, you interview them, you write it up, you say, is this the right process? Now, we can be in Consulting Advantage together, and we can actually create these documents. We can have these digital workers help us create them, and something that could take weeks can take days, right? So it's a better consulting experience where you see results faster and in some ways more predictably.
Now, you guys are also driving down costs with an approach called asset-based consulting.
Yeah.
And the industry's been focused on this. How does that work with generative AI?
Yeah, so generative AI just brings a new class of assets, right? So historically, our assets were what I call prepackaged applications, things that weren't quite full-fledged applications. They were sort of 80, 90% there, and then you sort of customize them for the particular solution you were building. So prepackaged applications, think of those as sort of traditional code. Then along came assistants, which are sort of ChatGPT type things, right? Now we have these things called agents, and agents are sort of smarter assistants. They not only give you an answer, but if they don't have the answer, they can go out and talk to somebody else and try to figure out what the answers are, right? And so these are all classes of assets. And so, what we've done at IBM Consulting is we've actually anchored ourselves on 38 offerings. Here are the 38 things that we do really well. And within each one of those, we've embedded assets in order to be able to deliver faster. And I'll give you an example. So, we have this client that's an airline client, and I went and I visited, and it was a great, the project was going really well. But the direct report to the CEO wasn't there, and he sent me an email afterwards, and I'm going to read it to you. And so, because it's always fun to get like one of these wonderful emails. And cool. I have overall responsibility for execution of the master plan. And I can say with total confidence that IBM has literally been the difference between success and failure and numerous key milestones. So first of all, it's always nice to get one of these, right? So then, I sort of look closer at this project, and there's something a little bit unique about this project. This project is using more assets than our normal project. 70% of our engineers that are deployed on this project are actually using Consulting Advantage with assets, in Consulting Advantage to deliver this project. So the thing that's actually happening here is that they're ahead of schedule, which like almost never happens, right? And because they're ahead of schedule, the client keeps coming and saying, "Hey, can you do this extra thing?" And I said to the team, "Are you charging for that?" Right? They're actually not, right? And they're doing all these extra things, and the client is just extraordinarily pleased. And so, this is the new consulting, right? And this is I think one positive example of how this new type of consulting is working.
No, it's great. And you guys work with a lot of airlines. And what you're highlighting here is a deep expertise in industries. Talk a little bit about industries and how that ties back to this asset-based consulting and, of course, Consulting Advantage.
Yeah. So, maybe I'll step back a little bit. I talked about these 38 offerings that we have, and they're generally horizontal offerings, right? And so in Consulting Advantage, we build assets to support them. So one example is Consulting Advantage for cloud transformation. Transformation is a horizontal thing. Another example is Consulting Advantage for business operations. So you can think of this as BPO processes. And so now that we have these, what we're doing is we're building industry-specific models, and you'll hear more about that. We're gonna announce some things coming up, so I don't want to pre-announce it. But you can imagine almost every industry has specific aspects of that industry. So whether it's banking or telco or airlines, when you query a general purpose LLM, well, it could tell you a little bit about airlines, but it probably can't tell you about sort of the internal processes of how airline booking systems and ticketing systems work, right? What are the interfaces inside?
So GDS.
Right. So we have to go out now and train models that know specifically about the internal IT systems of an airline or a bank or some other process, right? And not just the IT system, but also the processes that operate those industries. And so that's sort of the next thing that we're working on.
So there's an awesome matrix, right? You start with the Granite 3 language models, then you intertwine them with domain capabilities that are horizontal, like the cloud transformation, and of course, Consulting Advantage for business operations. And then at some point, right, the industry expertise comes into place. This has got to save clients time, and as well as bring all the learnings together. Do you see that accelerating projects?
Yeah, I mean, it's accelerating projects. You're able to do things faster. You're able to do them more predictably, actually. But there's actually a whole other category of value, right? It's not just about the efficiency. The efficiency is sort of the low-hanging fruit, and it's a thing that we're all pursuing on behalf of our clients. But there are things now that we're able to do that we weren't able to do before, and I'll give you another example. So here we're working with a bank, and the bank is very concerned about cybersecurity naturally, right? And so the head of IT, which manages cybersecurity as well, said to me that, listen, right now, the attacks are coming faster and faster. And as a matter of fact, the bad guys are using Gen AI to target us faster and faster.
How did they get the technology? I was kidding.
Right? And so it seems like they get it before. But so he said to me, listen, if we sit still with the security platform that we have, we're actually moving backwards because these things are coming faster and faster. So, what we showed him was that, we have a set of strategic partners, and one of them happens to be Palo Alto Networks. And so what we showed him is that, we've been able to build a set of digital workers that sit on top of the Palo Alto infrastructure. And so as the signals are coming in, and they can come in faster and faster and faster, throughout the threat analysis cycle, we have these digital worker packs. And at the end of that cycle, you can imagine at the beginning of the cycle, millions of signals come in and they're automatically triaged. And by the end of it, you actually have to have somebody look at these things that look like serious matters, right? And that could take minutes. I mean, sometimes it could take hours. They have to look at these logs. And so we've built a set of digital workers that can help that SOC engineer. And through this process, we're able to reduce the triage time by 81%, right? And so you say, okay, that's an efficiency play, but it's really not, because the volume of signals that are coming in is growing. So you still need the same number of SOC engineers. They just have to do more faster in order to keep up with the threats, right? And this is something that, is this solution is absolutely essential to the bank. And this is not something that we could have done even a year ago.
That is amazing. So, Mohamad, you come with an impressive background. IBM comes with an impressive background as well. Quickly tell me, why do companies want to go with, a global consulting firm that sits within a global tech company?
Yeah, great question. And, it's part of why I came back to IBM, right? I came back about a year ago, and in between, I worked for IBM for 14 years. I worked in the software business, and then in between, I was CEO of 2 companies. And I tell you, there's in some ways no better place to be in consulting, because there are all these toys, right? I mean, IBM's got all this technology, and it's an opportunity to bring that to bear. And so, we started recasting how we think about our business, and we've been talking about it now in terms of the 4 Ps, right? At the heart of it are our people, powered by AI. And if you've got AI, you need a platform to do it in an organized way. And I'll come back to that in a minute. You need processes, and these processes can't be your old processes. They have to be new processes that understand how to leverage digital workers and AI and people and so forth. And then the 4th P are our strategic partners, like Palo Alto, like Microsoft, like Salesforce, et cetera. But let me go back to this platform, right? I mean, one of the things, it's been a year, and we've been able to build out this platform. We've been able to build out thousands of digital workers. And we've been able to do it extraordinarily fast, and we've been able to do it very efficiently, cost efficiently, because once you have a lot of these digital workers hitting LLMs, it starts getting pretty expensive. And I think it would be hard to do if we didn't have a technology company right inside of our overall company. And collaborating with the technology team allowed us to build out this platform so quickly. Now, of course, we're able to collaborate with our strategic partners as well, right? Whether it's Microsoft, we've integrated Copilot into this, we've integrated Firefly into this from Adobe. And so, we sort of know how to do this. We know how to build these things, right? And so I think that gives us an advantage. Now we have to take advantage of that advantage, right? So.
No, that's why it's a consulting advantage. And Mohamad, I think it's really important, right? What I've noticed about AI, unfortunately, the design point is different than the internet. Right now, it is closed, it is centralized, it is more expensive, and a few players. If you do what you're doing, and we all do our job, we will make it open, decentralized, have a lot more players, and drive down the cost of AI. Right now, it's not there, but we need more players like yourselves that are doing that. So, but Mohamad, thank you so much. We're with Mohamad Ali, head of consulting, SVP at IBM, and also a science talent search alum like myself. I believe you're 88. I'm 89.
Yeah, right?
So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, Westinghouse, 89. Anyways, awesome.
89. 88.
We'll talk about this later. All right. Thanks for being on the show, Mohamad.